Right, good evening, all you beautiful people. Kia ora, Lisa, Benji, Dave, Elaine, Etienne, John, Kajal, Lavina, Lisa, Marius, Nikki, Teresa, and probably Trent as well. Tyler, Zeph, and Alicia. So good to have you guys here. Woo! I'm feeling a little bit out of practice almost with Zoom. Back into it. All right, well, guys, this evening, absolutely pumped, fired up and excited to be able to bring us all back together. I know some will join us as we're going, and yeah, but we're gonna crack into it. I want to value everyone's time this evening and get on. So firstly, welcome. It is, I suppose, our second Zoom of the year. Our first one involved Matt Rosa, which is a pretty good way to launch the year a couple weeks back. So, you know, for those of you who missed that, highly encourage you to go and check that out. How's the weather in Auckland? Thanks for asking, Lisa. It's, you know what? I'm in East Auckland and it's fine. It's raining a little bit, a little windy. Seriously, hearts go out to everyone around. I know we've got some guys in the team. I know Russ got smashed with some flooding. So his house is definitely got a bit of water issues going on. But yeah, please let me know as well, guys. I haven't been able to touch base with everyone. Been swamped with kill shot details and whatnot. But really hope everyone is dry and safe and sound and whatnot. But yeah, at the moment there's some warnings for tonight, but for the most part it seems pretty chill outside. There's a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, but nothing is going to slow us down this year. Seriously, it could be snowing and we are still going to be burning hot on fire for what we've got going on. So right, so I don't know why my settings are off. I'm having to admit everyone individually, so sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I'm out of practice, guys. But for those of you who've been spotting what we've been up to this week so far, you know, Benji's been running the Trade Secrets Masterclass. Tyler and myself jumped on there yesterday just to share and open it up, and then today Michael Jacobsen shared some real high value content. Guys, perfect opportunity, the perfect content to be able to share with anyone who's thinking about this space. It's essentially really similar to our investor bootcamps that we've done. Today we cranked out the compound interest calculator. You know, Mike showed a chart for a little bit and just gave that insight of what it initially looks like to look at a chart and get asymmetrical reward to risk. So if you're looking for those recordings, you know, they're on Benji's wall, they're on mine. I shared them to my Facebook wall, so real easy to be able to invite people to have a look at. Whole lot more coming this week. We've got Jay showing up or Mike Sotero showing up later in the week. We've got Jay Bonham, and then Sunday at 2 p.m. guys, I cannot stress this enough. I'll mention it again later, but that is going to be a perfect invite launch call where we've got Richard Ustra and Joey Wilson on there to really show the plan and the vision, the big picture for IM and all the different options to plug in. And then we are going to be launching our bootcamp next week, so I'll share a few more details about that later. But first up, thought it would be awesome to just give some feedback from Miami. Like, it was, you know, a beautiful place, but more so beautiful people to be able to get over there with so many of our team. You know, we had Benji, we had Tyler, Selena, Etienne, why am I blank right now? Dana, Claire, Seb. Yeah, that was like there were 8 of us. And then obviously we met up with Richard over there and Greg and Mel and Shanda and the rest of the team. So super cool to be able to go to that event, just to be able to go there as a team, as a family, hang out, you know, just have lots of meals together and just dream together, talk about our different journeys, get to know each other. Was really special. You know, just all of us getting there was obviously something in itself, but being there together was seriously special. And going to the Break the Code event was, guys, I've been to a lot of events, and I spent like actually a bunch of us have done the ministry school in Bethel, but that weekend was power packed. I think, you know, I think Tyler and a few of us all said, like, after the first session or two with Ed Milet, we were done. We had enough value to feel like, yep, that was worth it for that. So I've got a few thoughts that I'll share about it maybe later on, but I thought it'd be really cool to get everyone, at least that's in the right time zone right now. Shout out to Claire and Seb, who are over in California, and Dana in Canada. It's silly late for them right now. Otherwise, we'd love to get them to share. But I thought it'd be so cool. Let me, so you guys can think of, I want to get Tyler, then Selena, then Etienne and Benji, just to share, you know, a few minutes of what they got out of it, just to really impart to you guys what it meant. Because it's, you know, obviously for us, there was a huge cost involved to go there, but I guarantee each and every one of us would do it all over again in a heartbeat, because we got so much more than the dollar value you can put on it. Just for you guys to be able to get as much from that event. I mean, we're looking to get the digital copies of it soon, but until then, I think it'd be awesome, just while it's fresh in our hearts, to share some of those takeaways. So Tyler, why don't you go first, bro? Like, and guys, I'm gonna at the same time, I think this is so special. You know, Tyler hit platinum 1000 the day he left for the States, and that was a goal that we set together. He wanted to hit it before going, and massive congrats to you, bro. Like, that's a huge achievement to just the way that you came in here, started as a student, plugged in and learned faithfully, and then tasted enough value to share it, and then to just bam hit P1 is awesome, bro. So excited for you and all that's ahead. But yeah, man, it was super special to be able to go over to break the code with you. So I want to give you the floor for a few minutes, man. Share from your heart, share whatever impacts you the most or takeaways, and yeah, take us away, bro.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Man, what a special time, hey? um, like I said earlier, I was on a call with Benji and we were chatting about this, and man, it's hard to know where to start, It's just like there's so much gold from that first session with Ed, and then that session with Nick. Man, those first two sessions, hey, just like rocked my world. And I was telling Benji earlier, I kind of went, I told you this as well, Ty, but I kind of went into the conference going, and traditionally I've been a little bit skeptical of these sorts of things, like not skeptical, but just like, oh, motivational speakers, rah, 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 is it fluff, is it hype? But man, like I was wrong. I was so wrong. It was just so deeply transformational, so practical. I loved how practical everything was, like everyone is actually bringing such value in here's some actual practical takeaways for how do you actually change your life. And it's not just like, let's make you feel good. And then, nothing changes, but it's like, hey, you guys want to do what we do. You want to be where we're at. Here's the formula. And there's an actual formula. It's like all these guys, there's a common thread, there's common beliefs, there's common action points, and it's just like it was just so deeply transformational to be in a room with these guys, surrounded by people who are hungry and running after the same things. And I mean, there are so many takeaways, but like I think one of the ones for me, oh gosh, there's so many. It's hard to pick one, but one of the ones for me was just like, what are you putting your focus on? Like it's kind of a point where even part of my role, what I do for work, is going to be shifting as a takeaway point from that conference, because it's my focus it's been cool and it's been fun, but like it's focusing on something I have no control over, and it actually is something that's like it's kind of like a journalistic thing where I've been curating news and it's been really fun, but it's like it actually had kind of a negative impact on my spirit because this stuff is like depressing. It's like, and it's like that stuff messes with you, that stuff actually gets into your spirit, and it's like this kind of these vibrational frequencies. It sounds new agey, but it's like it's a real thing. It's like the levels that we actually operate on and the things we focus on, the things we consume, is such a big part to play in how we operate as humans. And so, like being able to like just shift my focus, make practical adjustments in my daily schedule. I spent probably a couple of hours on my last flight, my last leg home, just tweaking my daily schedule. Like I wrote a list of like, here are my daily action points. Here's everything that I know that I need to have in my day to accomplish my goals, and how am I going to fit all this stuff into my schedule? And I actually went out like in 5 to 15-minute increments throughout my whole day and scheduled out my day starting at like 4:45 a.m. And it's like, hey, if I want to fit all this in, I have to get up at 4:45 in the morning. And that's what it is, and that's the cost, and that, what, that's okay, because the cost will far outweigh, the benefits will far outweigh the cost. And it's amazing. I'm just fired up. I was up at 4:30 this morning, doing my declarations, my goal cards, my, all the stuff. And it's like, okay, and then I'm up marking up charts at 5:15, and within an hour I hit my goal, my target, and then I'm off doing the next part of my day. And And it's great, I just feel fired up. I've been awake for so long, and I feel like I've just had a cup of coffee, and I haven't had any, I haven't had any caffeine today, but I'm not running off caffeine. I'm running on desire. I'm running on focus and purpose and vision. And it's a whole nother level, it's like it's a whole nother fuel that you get to burn. And it's like, I don't know, like I went into that event like in a pretty good space and pretty like fired up. But I've come out of the other side of that thing like, yeah, a whole nother trajectory. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So I could probably talk for an hour, few hours about it, but I won't. So yeah, it was amazing, man. It's so cool getting to be able to spend that time with you guys, as well as the guys of you who were there. And yeah, just so transformational. It really was. So
Love it, bro. Man, thanks so much for sharing. So appreciate that. It was so fun. Yeah, the conversations we had throughout the weekend. I especially remember like on Sunday after church, like just being around the leaders and just taking in. Anyway, I don't want to share too much, but it was like, yeah, just that it really was that full immersion experience of just, and it's a lot to take in and to unpack and to share. It's yeah, to put in a few nuggets. We'd be here all night, but yeah, so appreciate just hearing that from you, man. Just that idea of like running on desire, refocusing, like just that core center of like, this is what I'm going after, that clarity. And then from that, come in the fuel, man, like getting up early and then crushing it, like getting 30 pips before breakfast. That's epic. And yeah, just having that dialed in focus, that dialed in plan is the best way to succeed. Love it, man. Thanks so much for sharing, bro. So appreciate you. And cool. Well, let's give it up for Tyler, guys. Drop some love in the chat for him, and also up next, guys, Selena. I am gonna pin you, and I'm so excited to get you to share because I know, yeah, you were. If I can, I really want to celebrate you because you were the first one I believe to actually book your ticket, and I really want to commend you for that. Like you
I
just
was going
decided.
on my own.
Seriously, like you were all in, despite the fact that at the time it wasn't certain if there was a whole group going. I was always
Yeah.
like 99%. I just had a few things to figure out and whatever. Yeah. Long story short, trying to win a ticket as opposed to this, that, and whatever. But you just decided I'm going. I'm going if I have to go by myself, and I really want to commend you for that because that was fiery. I mean, you ended up choosing a place to stay, and just your leadership. We all ended up going to the same place, right? And it was so cool how that all worked out. We all got to stay in the same place together, and yeah, it was so special to be able to have that time there with you. But yeah, I want to give you the floor to share for a few minutes just some of the key takeaways you had, and whatever's on your heart to share with everyone from
Yeah.
the event.
I had just such a massive experience. Like I can't trying to write down something to like key takeaways to tell you guys has just been so hard because every single speaker, even all the people on the panel, which is a lot more relaxed and stuff, not the main keynote speakers, they all had just absolute gold. So you're just taking in and just so much mind shift set, stuff for me shifted. I think it was Nick Santinasso. I'm not quite sure how to say his last name, but this guy, he has no legs and just one arm with like one finger, and he is a speaker now, and he lost his brother to an overdose. He's grown up with this disability, which he's turned into his superpower pretty much. And like his big thing was he wanted to learn as much as he could about psychology so nobody suffered as much as his brother did. And he took us through a whole process of like unpacking our emotions and things like that, and the two states of being is a beautiful state and a suffering state. And we went right through to when we were a child, and he had us stand in front of our child self basically, and God, I get teary just thinking about it, but it was so powerful to see yourself knowing all that you've been through in your life and all the adversities and trials and stuff, and being able to see yourself and, you know, just be like, it's going to be okay. Like, look what I've overcome. Look what I've done. Look where I'm going. Look at the impact I'm going to do. And it just filled me up with so much urgency almost. It's like, and then Ed Milet was like, you know, you're going to be the one. You've got to be the one. Who's going to be the one in your family that steps forward and, you know, plants the stake in the ground, is like, I'm going for it. I'm going to change our family line, whether it's happiness or finances. You know, there's got to be that one person. And so, yeah, I've just come back so on fire. I've been so motivated. It's been ridiculous. I'm on a 2-day cleanse at the moment. So I'm just, yeah, I don't know. The energy is just flowing and so much stuff coming. And I just feel so cool to help so many people, you know. It's so amazing what we've got here. So guys, if you ever get the chance to go, if you can make it work, just get there, because you will not regret it. It was just absolutely transformational.
Love it. So cool, man. Selena, thanks so much for sharing that. Everything you just said, yeah, that's, I mean, Ed blew us away in the first session, like just that whole thing about who's going to be the one to shift your family legacy and trajectory and etc. So all like and he went deep too, but then Nick coming after that and going through that whole beautiful state thing, suffering state. I mean, you can tell he's hanging out with Tony Robbins and touring with him literally, and just walking us through that encounter. Like, yeah, I've spent a bit of time since just kind of re-engaging with that. It was this powerful moment, which, yeah, guys, can't wait for you all to be able to experience something similar. So yeah, thanks so much for sharing that, Selena. I'm just so glad you got to be there and go through that, because it's transformational, right? You realize, like, all my life has been, you know, so to this point. You get into that environment with that many people with that much intentionality, and it just causes you to suddenly be like, what am I doing here? Like, and it just causes everything else to come into alignment and be like, we're doing this. And yeah, so pumped that you're able to make it, and just for blazing that trail, being the first one to click, sign up, and just go. Just that pioneering spirit in you. Just want to celebrate that and say thank you, really, because it's yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
sure you were the first domino to some degree in our team to just say I'm in. And then
it was so nice to have you all there with me, though, because it would have been a bit different without you.
Definitely. Oh, it was so fun. I mean, yeah, so many Uber rides and meals and things. It was really special. So thank you so much for sharing with us, guys. Drop some love in the chat for Selena. And next up, guys, Etienne, my bro. Oh, we got to have a little extra special hangout because we traveled together from start to finish. So we've got stories for days. But man, it was so special, bro, to be able to obviously have time with you throughout the trip and the journey. And to be in that environment with you, because I know the lead up to it, it was on, it wasn't on, it was maybe on, and you've got an amazing wife who said, yeah, you need to go. And but yeah, man, just it was so fun to be in the room with you and to watch you experience all of that in that kind of environment. So I will let you share, bro, but thanks so much for giving us your time tonight. And yeah, I'll give you some space to share. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, no worries there. Thanks, Ty. Hey everybody, for those of you who do not know me, reach out, DM me, you're missing out. For those of you who do know me, I suppose I apologize for that. Thanks, Adina. Hey, I mean, where do I start? You know, there's a common thread that you can probably pick up amongst everybody that's talking and that's been, and it's a notion that you can't describe it. It is so hard to describe, so hard to take out 1, 2, 3, even 10 key takeaways. There were just so many gold nuggets. There's just so much you can get out of that event. It is really, really hard to quantify. So that is not something that we don't want to share, or we're not capable of sharing. It is a information overdose. Is really how you can describe it. Information, experience. You know, the word transformational is a bit understated and underrepresentative of it. You know, like Ty said, it's an absolute full immersion. And if you look at the true sense of immersion, it's everything. It's overpowering. It's overwhelming. It's everything. So for me, it was again, picking up on some of the buzzwords, you know, it was quite a transformational personal development journey. And it was pretty much the biggest and boldest bit of self-investment I have ever put in myself. You know, if it wasn't for my wonderful wife, who I think is on the call now, that just turned around and said, you know what, I booked your ticket, by the way. I was back and forth. Do I want to go? Similar to Tyler, yeah, didn't know if I should go, didn't know what my intent was, but yeah, you know, I went in there not knowing what to expect. I've never been to the States, so that was a big first for me, and landing in Miami was quite surreal. So not knowing what I was getting myself into, going there, coming back, meeting a bunch of people. I only knew Ty and Richard. I didn't know anybody else. Coming back with some really good experiences and having met so many amazing people, so many real people that were on stage that's worth millions of dollars, being vulnerable, being real. That was huge for me, you know. Another big takeaway was for me is the fact that you know, I went in there for my own intent was to really shatter fear and self-doubt, which to a degree a lot of us we struggle with to some extent. And you know, for those who don't know me, I'm a senior manager working at QBank in the digital technology space, looking after systems processing, you know, millions and millions of dollars a day with multiple teams. So it's always a bit of pressure for me. So going to an event like this, I had a sense of, I suppose, confidence in one way, but I soon realized that, you know, there's so much more for me to learn and so much more for me to experience. And it starts with your belief. And that was a big change in my intent. My intent was to shatter that fear and self-doubt. But turns out that no, it's actually, for me at least, every single person has got a very different experience, was to understand that it starts with your commitment and belief. If, you know, if the decision is made, the rest will follow. You know, somebody said, I can't remember who, you know, you don't need more sleep, you need more desire. So that I think should resonate with all of it, or with all of us. I think Benji in the trading masterclass also mentioned that along a similar line. Start with your desires and chase them. You know, you don't necessarily need very little sleep, but you need more desire. And that really resonated with me. You know, in closing, also, proximity is power, guys. If you go to these events, you will be within proximity of people that's going to, like, you know, Tyler said, there's an energy in that room that is undescribable. And topping that off with, you know, a bunch of us going to an electrifying church the next day, that blew my mind. Going to a church that, again, you didn't expect, you didn't know what to expect. Going to that church, coming out energized, absolutely energized, with such an amazing bunch of people, high energetic church, highly relevant message. You know, I think the message was more around the link between psychology and the mindset in your faith, and how understated it is and how very relevant it is. That blew my mind. So going to these events, you know, for me, it was absolutely every single dollar's worth. I was saying to my wife that it's been years and years and years since I've maxed out my credit card, but this time around, I have no problem in doing that because it's worth every dime and dollar. So, you know, key takeaways, it's just committing to your own beliefs, it's committing to your own capabilities, empowering yourself, getting into that proximity of people who've done it before, that can show you the way, you know, investing in yourself and getting that positive influence around you. You know, Ty mentioned that we all went together. That's a very positive influence in my life and our lives, having that community. So yeah, again, Ty, like Tyler said, I can talk quite a while on this, but yeah, I would encourage you, if you can, make a plan and go to the next one. If it runs your budget into the red, it's well worth it. You know, switch from pizza and burgers to 2-minute noodles if you must. You're going to need it, because you're going to have to Uber to, you know, all over the place and see all sorts of, you know, different places and experience different people and experiences. It's really worth it.
So good, bro. Man, thanks so much for sharing. I love that. Absolutely love that. Just the way the decision was made, like, almost for you initially, but just that thing of like, I mean, we had so many conversations about it, but just there's this line I remember. I mean, it's been in my head for a long time, but it's like, you don't know what you don't know, and sometimes you don't know how bad you need something, until that thing shows up and it actually clarifies it and brings that sense of like that, almost that shock factor of being in that environment with that much energy, with that much clarity and confidence. It just like shakes you into a different space, man. So it's, yeah, super fun to be there with you, bro, and just to experience all those moments. Like it was unreal. There was screaming, shouting, tears, praise, worship, the whole shebang throughout all of it, and just a real powerful time. And it was such a cool life highlight to be able to share that with you, man. So thanks for coming. Thank you for, and also, bro, obviously for Elaine for sending you, and you know, all of our wives had to pay a price for us to get there. And so yeah, real powerful time. And thank you, man. Thank you, bro, for coming. So guys, Benji, I mean, dude, this guys, you need to really drop some love right now, because this man's been going flat out all day. Let me see if I can find you if you're still here. Yes, you are. Awesome. Because I know you've literally been going nonstop. I saw you juggling a baby on your knee a minute ago, so I'm gonna pin you here. Yes, I mean, bro, this was, we had so much fun. Like, I'm just thinking of like the amount of like mischief you were trying to cause in Ubers and whatnot here and there, and Selena's already like hiding. But just like, it was so fun to be able to just do live with you for the week and hang out and have meals, and at the same time be in that electrifying environment. And just to see you going all in and just processing it at the same time, working hard on the sides, and then just bringing that back. I mean, like the way you shared on that call with Rich and myself earlier in the week. I mean, we literally all just got home, and you're there showing up, adding value, and then running this masterclass this week. I'm so pumped, man, because I feel like you have gone to a completely another level. And so, yeah, man, just some key takeaways while you got some energy left in the tank for tonight. We so appreciate you being here, man. So I want to give it to you, and yeah, let it rip.
Thanks so much, fam. How you guys doing? Good to see beautiful people here. We're gonna change the world. We're going to change the world. I know I'm gonna change the world. Here's something that hopefully is a memorable concept. Lick your dream. All right, lick your dream. If you're not licking your dream, you've missed the boat. All right, if you're not actually licking your dream, you have missed the boat on how dreaming with God actually works. You've completely missed the science of dreams if you aren't licking your dream, and not just occasionally, like all the time, licking your dream. So that's something that we shared on our staff meeting. It was just fire for over 2 hours. Tyler was there this morning, and it was like just over 2 hours of straight fire. But that was one of the big words that came out of it, is lick your dream. I'll get to why I'm talking about that. But everything that was being taught there, right? The key fundamentals, they didn't, no one was talking about IM, right, at the conference, okay? No one was talking about IM. There was a subtle hint about it every now and then. And no one really talks that much on how to actually make money, right? People, the conference wasn't really about business strategies. If you actually look at how these guys who are generating millions and billions of dollars operate, how they actually operate is most of what they do is spiritual. If you imagine an iceberg, the creation of wealth is primarily spiritual, and the practical that actually makes the money is the tip of the iceberg, right? But it's actually, and so they talked about paradigms, but your beliefs belong to the spirit realm, not the natural realm. So there's all these things that we kind of already understand, and we do a little bit of. We do a little bit of focusing. Well, even focusing, what's that? That's actually like honing in on your beliefs. So that focus is spiritual. So most of what they were actually talking about are the spiritual, they're laws and principles that God's put in place for how you create. And it wasn't just about creating wealth. It was about, I mean, my language for it is, it was about redesigning reality. It's about birthing something from the spiritual into the natural, and how to actually make that happen. So there's all these things that, we've been teaching and doing for a long time. But it's so cool to see that here's these guys generating hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, And you know, what do? The basics of what we do, but how do they do them? They know they work, you know, like, so you and I might have a little bit of confidence that, you know, dreaming with God works. And I've had a reasonably high level of confidence on that. But these guys are so confident that the spiritual laws work that they go 100% all in, and they just ramp the intensity through the roof on the basics. And so what licking your dream is about is, you know, there's a Hebrew word yada. It means to see, to hear, to touch, to smell, and to taste. And, you know, that's reference. It means intimate experiential knowledge. And it's interchangeable with, you know, intimate experiential knowledge or making love, right? So there's, you know, Adam, yada, Eve, and she gave birth to a son, right? And so sometimes it's used for knowing God with intimate experiential knowledge. Sometimes it's for making love, but there's a concept of intimate experiential knowledge. And so with your dream and with our dream, for, you know, like key thing, number one, and you've heard the word a bunch tonight already, is desire, right? Just desire. So let desire drive you. And this is one of the things that I'm so excited about taking to another level is, you know, let your heart speak authentically. Don't worry about logistics. Don't worry about metrics. Don't worry about feasibility, strategy, any of that. All that comes later. But the first part is desire, right? So like, that's what you got to let loose. And the way that, like, one of the ways that you actually get to express desire and like, and steward desire and build desire is by, you're allowing your dream to come to life in your imagination. And, you know, you got to see it so clearly, exactly what you're building, what you're creating, what you want. Yeah, but it's not enough to just see it. Okay. So that reality that you're creating, this is where focus has to go to a whole new dimension. Like, whatever you thought you were doing in terms of your level of focus, take it, like, ramp it up 1,000%. You just like ramp it up 1,000-fold. Whatever you were doing to focus on your dreams, take it to just lift the intensity like crazy. Turn the intensity up on your dreaming. So how specific are you with your 3-year goals? Just take the intensity up, take the precision up, take the focus to a whole new dimension. So I mean, I already had, before I left out there, my 3-year goals written down of exactly what they look like, precise dynamics. So, you know, it's not like I was mucking around. I was more focused before I went to that conference than I've ever been. I had my 3-year goals written down exactly, precisely what they look like. You know, I'm imagining them. But when I came, you know, drawing that, I'm just like, no, this works. We are going to take it to another level. So, you know, one of my 3-year goals is in 3 years' time, we will have graduated 10,000 people through our Limitless Awards program. And so what I'm doing, like how I lick my dream, you know, you got to get textile with your dream. You got to yada, you got to see it, you got to hear it, you got to touch it, you got to smell it, you got to taste it, right? How are you going to taste it? You can't taste it unless you lick it, right? You don't taste with your fingers. The only thing you can taste with is your tongue. So, you know, to intimate experiential knowledge, you got to get busy on your dreams. So you imagine yourself in it, right? What does it look like? What does it feel like? You got to touch it, taste it. So I'm interviewing in my imagination. I'm interviewing the people whose lives have been transformed. I'm going on adventures with them in my imagination. I'm like, whoa, you know, in my imagination, we're taking these like multiple convoys of planes full of people on missions trips, because we've got over 10,000 graduates in our Limitless Award program. So I'm like, what do? We're like a plague of locusts. We go places and we create systemic transformation. And I'm like, whoa, I'm going in there. I'm seeing myself on a stage as we're celebrating, you know, 10,000 people graduating, seeing like the tears breaking out of my eyes. I'm like seeing myself like, oh my gosh, like, and building that and going that deeper and deeper, and like there's a whole nother world, and I'm living in that world. So you got to lick your dream, get textile with it, taste it, and what happens in that process is desire rises, you know, like desire builds. And you've got to get to a place where your dream is not what you want, your dream is not what you need, your dream, you must have it, right? It's got to come to a point of obsession. Like, it's got to possess you, it's got to grip you, it's got to consume you. Not like, this is not what I need, this is not what I want. I have to possess to the point, like, You got to see it and love it. And it's got to be so big and grip you so much. You're like, this is worth dying for. Because it's only at that point that you actually really activate a level of desire that's locked up inside you. When you get to that and you tasted that to the point, you've licked it to the point, you're like, this is worth dying for. You know, I'm going to, like, I have to, like, everything in me, the only point of my existence is to possess this reality. And what you see is like desire comes first and then faith builds off the back of that, right? This faith, it's like, oh, wow, because you're starting to see it. So like the more you immerse yourself in it, the more you see it, the more your subconscious gets in on it. It's like, wow, faith is rising. And as faith rises, what happens is boldness happens. And then like boldness produces fire. And so everything that you're doing, bold, passionate, precise, strategic actions every day, that's like in that space of boldness and fire, like you'll find that your strategies just manifest, your open doors happen, your favor happens, the breakthroughs happen. But it's like the practical stuff is the tip of the iceberg. The spiritual stuff is where it's all being built, it's all being created. And you get to the point where the fabric of reality can no longer resist the pressure and the intensity of your faith and your persuasion and your 100% conviction that you hold the title deed as a present tense reality. You hold the title deed of your wildest dreams. And it's like, that's where the meat is, right? And after that, okay, hey, drop I am in. Like, it's like the tip of the iceberg. It's just a little thing that happens that's actually going to go, okay, sweet. Like that's gonna help give me some leverage towards my wildest dreams. So all the creation, all the juice happens in the, like, actually creating in the spirit realm well before you even do a practical thing. So when you're talking about desire, when you're talking about, you know, declarations, when you're talking about creating, when you're talking about getting precise, like whatever you thought was precise, whatever you thought was focused, ramp it up 1,000%. You know, just take it to a whole crazy new level. And you look out, the normal person around you, their focus level, they're in the 95%. So if you look at what normal focus looks like a guarantee you get nothing. You know, your mum, your dad, they're guaranteed, almost guaranteed to not live their wildest dreams. Occasionally, they might be in the 5%, but 95% of your friends, your family have locked in, guaranteed they're going to take their dreams to the grave. They're not even going to get close to living it. So don't ever think that, you know, like the normal level of focus you see around you is going to be effective to actually doing anything you really desire. It's got to be to a whole new level. And so ramp it up like crazy. This stuff works. Just let loose, you know, completely blow it out of the water, max it out. Lick your dream.
Whew. Can y'all drop some fire emojis in the chat, bro? That was unreal. I'm like vibrating here listening to you on you see what I mean, team? See what I mean? Another level. Like some of you may be experiencing Benji for the first time, but still, bro, like just I feel that, man. Like I love how you're able to take something and make it so memorable. I don't think anyone's going to forget the phrase "lick your dream" after tonight ever again. That was powerful, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know you've had a crazy long day, and yeah, so I appreciate you sharing with us, man. It was so cool to have you there, to just watch you in that environment. I watched you, man. I watched you taking it in and really observing how everything was done. And I mean, yeah, man, you're an absolute movement leader and catalyst, and it's just such a pleasure to be doing this with you, guys. Woo! Thank you so much, Benji. Love and appreciate you so much.
Thanks, Ty. Just give it up for Ty, guys. What a legend, eh? What a legend. It's pretty rare to have a leader like Ty. So this is wild, man. This is wild to be running with you. I'm really excited, Ty, to do it. We haven't nailed a date on it yet, but I want to do a limitless day, which is not specifically about IM, but about the juice, you know? Like it's about the juice, and then hey, you put the IM bits as the tip of the iceberg, but a day that's like a limitless day on like, hey, let's let loose on our dreaming and go to a whole new other dimension. Get Tyler out. If you haven't heard Tyler worship, he's the man. Spend a couple of hours praying in the Holy Ghost in the morning just to stir things up. Yeah.
Ooh,
so yeah,
it's gonna be wild, bro. So fun. Yeah, this year's gonna be massive, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're there with your fam, so I'll let you get back to them, but bro, so much love for you. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna give you a few little nuggets that I had from it, and then we'll get into some more fire. We've got Michael Jacobsen with us tonight as well, just to give us some clarity on what this next season looks like. We are really in for a treat. But as well, same as everyone else who shared tonight, guys, way too much to bring it all, but I want to give you some of the highlights. And for me, I second everything that everyone said, because we all, to some degree, had a very similar experience with different nuances. But my gosh, like for me, because I've been to events before, I've been to an IM event, I went to Arizona, which was different, but also really, really impactful. And there's plenty of those coming up, which are going to be great. I know there will be another Break the Code event in a year, possibly in Mexico by the sounds of it, which would be pretty epic. So hashtag TLX to get that Mexico trip and go there. But at the same time, the IM events are super powerful and just different, right? But this one, what I really got out of it was like culture. I was in the airport and I saw this hat. It's a Miami Heat hat, which I don't really care too much about, but it was something from Miami. But it's just this word culture just hit me, which summarized it so perfectly, because being in that room, being in that environment with so many highly successful people, like people had to pay a serious cost to be there, and not everyone is spending their weekend at that kind of an event. And so naturally everyone you're interacting with was just on fire and excited and intentional. And some of us maybe experienced that as well, and being in Bethel for a few years, but being around those speakers, hearing what came through, like I love what Benji said about authenticity, because it was actually Gary Brecker, right? The 10X health guy, who, I was really fired up to hear from. I was like, how are they going to factor this all in? Like, he's talking about becoming a superhuman, but he talked about how if you study vibration and frequency, he talked about authenticity, being in that state of being authentic, is 4 times higher the frequency of love, which if you go and study that kind of stuff, it's actually really massive. There's an amazing science behind how they've calibrated the emotional state that we can be in and what that looks like. Really powerful stuff. But he talked about authenticity, talked about, his story was wild. He worked in insurance for 20 years and could pretty much map out to the month when someone was going to die based on a few key factors that he was aware of. And he got sick of being on that side of the spreadsheet. And so he then flipped around, managed to really learn how to help people in a big way. Long story short, he helped Grant Cardone within 3 weeks really transform his health. Grant called him back and basically in a nutshell said, how'd you like to make $140 million this year? And he said something to the effect of, how about we give this information away for free? And you pay for like a little test, but then beyond that, how about we just see if we can impact 140 million lives instead? And so just dropped so many nuggets on how you can physically, practically like steward your body and your mind and really kick disease. He talked about how the presence of disease is the presence of oxygen is the absence of disease. And he went down there and just like the importance of breathing and this, that, and whatever. I don't want to get too scientific tonight, but it was just super powerful to hear all these different speakers share. But that idea of culture. So for me, everything that was shared throughout the event, Alex, I want to share I'll actually share one little photo I thought of while everyone else was sharing, just to encapsulate, like for you guys that weren't there, to really have something to physically think about and take away. So I'm going to share this one image that I've got right here. So this right here, guys, was just a slide from one of Alex's talks. Alex shared a lot throughout the event, and I absolutely love everything that man has to say in this space. So he talked about breaking the code, these different areas of our lives. And when he shared this, so you've got there at the top, definite purpose. So you could call that like a definite purpose or vision or a clarity of your why, your burning desire, your impact, the who you are and where you want to go in life. So definite purpose, superhuman health, turning your yearly into your monthly income, practically talked about that, to some degree, more so the spiritual side of it. Then pinnacle level leadership was another key, growth and contribution. That's a whole lot of Simon Sinek stuff. And then elevated spiritual awareness, which you just heard a whole lot about as well. And then love and relationships. So looking at all these different areas of our lives, guys, this is an extension, whatever you want to call it, of how I define the fit life. Like all of these areas in our lives thriving at the highest level. This is what we're here for. We are here to see every area of our life thriving. And so Alex talked about this in a lot of detail, and he actually said, for this weekend, have a think about maybe the weakest 2 areas of your life and the strongest 2. Write those down, get really, really clear, because there's no ways that any of us are going to go out and smash 7 areas of our life in 1 year. We're just not. You don't have enough energy, capacity, and focus to, I believe, in a hugely meaningful way, push all of these elements forward. And so the way it works is, think about, the top 2, the ones that you feel you're confident in, and maybe, acknowledge those are your strengths, but then think about what are the 2 maybe that God's highlighting where you need to work on. And so I got really clear on what those things were. And yeah, I'm adjusting the things that I'm studying this year and what the kind of content that I'm feeding myself on, because I want to get really clear on achieving those specific goals this year. And so for yourself, I want to encourage you, think about that, go down that journey. A lot of us are obviously here to get our finances right, but as you all know, 90% of that is mindset. And so with that comes the, you know, the spiritual side to success, which is so much of what has been shared tonight already. So just want to share that with you guys, because I feel like there's so much power in that. For let me just unshare, there we go. And just clarifying like what areas of my life really need to grow right now. So, you know, that was massive for me, and really going to church. You know, Matt Rosa invited us. You know, for those of you who don't know who he is, somehow it's, you know, Matt is a chairman 750. He's 30 years old. He was homeless at 16, and now he's, you know, inside the top 5 highest paid earners in network marketing, which is unreal. He's 30 years old, and a touring musician as well on top of that, and a recent father. But being able, you know, him knowing that a bunch of us were coming, and that, you know, we you know, not everyone he invited maybe actually had any history in church, but he invited us all to go with him to quite a famous church with a lot of history. And just afterwards, you know, I thought we were going outside for a photo, but circled up and just shared so boldly from his heart about, like, you know, just the calling and the mandate upon us in this company to get out and really impact the nations and impact lives, and just reference the fact that there were tens of thousands of people that are connected to the, just, you know, the 100 that were there, because we're from all over the world. And then leading from there into a point of prayer where he invited myself and a few others to pray with him, which was really special. And just, you know, watching these guys, like I was looking at, you know, chairmen and educators, people that I knew, but I hadn't met them before, some of these guys, and I didn't know how strong their faith was, but it was incredible just to be in that environment, to have someone who is leading the front of this company on fire for God and just setting the tone and the culture of where we're going with this and what we're really doing it for. So I was wrecked. I was just absolutely blown away by that moment. And then, you know, there's so many key people. Like, this is the thing, I believe you find your people, you find your destiny. When you lock in with community who are going in the same direction, that's how you grow, and it's more about the process than the destination. And so for me, I'm just so aware of, man, there's this person and that person, and, you know, there was someone there, I knew who they were, but I didn't really. A guy named Ilya, he's 22. So he shared on the mindset call on Sunday morning. He joined IM when he was 18. He's now 22 and he's a chairman 50. Obviously with that makes 50K US a month. But the guy is obviously just an incredible leader, rocking in the spiritual side of success. He essentially preached on Sunday morning in that MMX call. And it was just so, honestly, I thought he was 32. I had no idea the guy was 22. Just the amount of wisdom and leadership that was coming out of him was so profound. And that just comes by being in this environment. You know, when he was 18 and he joined, he wasn't like that. But that's the thing. IM's big vision statement is, who are you becoming, or what will you become? And so with that, obviously we're studying finance, but part of that is you growing and thinking to yourself, like, what areas in that circle, what codes do you need to break? What areas do you need to specifically focus on and grow on? What audiobooks are you listening to on the side of, you know, studying and Go Live and things like that? Like, really, really powerful stuff, guys. Like, I mean, for myself, my audiobooks are stacked. Like, I'm obviously studying trading stuff, but at the same time, you know, I've listened to almost every speaker that was there, almost all of their books. I went to that event supercharged and ready to hear for the second time what these guys had to say in a live environment. So I want to encourage you, when the next event comes up, think about it in advance, write it down. Don't think about the how, just have a look at what it is, where it is, and then have a serious think and let God do the rest. Because it's one of those things where everything is going to, in life, try to stop you from putting yourself in that kind of environment. But if you really, really want to double down and accelerate your growth, every single person who is on that stage or in that sort of echelon of leadership and success will say you have to invest in yourself before you invest anywhere else. You are your greatest asset, and the more you invest in it, you cannot overinvest in yourself and your growth, because at the end of the day, you are wherever you go, and the more you grow, the more everything else grows. So without any further ado, guys, wanted to leave with that. There's probably a lot more I could say, but guys, thanks so much for all of you as well sharing. Tyler, Etienne, Selena, Benji, so appreciate you. Love you guys heaps. And it was so special to have that time with you there. But tonight, guys, you know, Mike's on here with us, and I want to invite him to jump on. You know, we've been doing this masterclass with Benji. We both were on there today, and Michael shared so well just on, you know, that the overview of what it looks like to get into the trading space, his journey, which most of you have heard before, which is profound. You know, 20 years of being in the space, but then really things clicking when he was exposed to a mentor that knew what he was doing. And so we learned two ways, primarily mistakes or mentors, and that's why most of us have showed up here to learn from mentors who know the way and can show the way. So guys, with this, we've got some big plans with this bootcamp. You know, the biggest thing we've done before is a 3-day thing. So we're going full 10x and doing a 30-day. So I've got I'll bring, let me do this before I bring Mike on. I want to show you this. So we've got, let me share this image. I literally just threw this together 2 minutes before launching the Zoom. So not my greatest work, but where are we? Sorry, where's the image? Oh, bear with me, guys. I'm going to find it. I dragged, there we go. Just to give you guys something, I'll drop it in the chat as well, but just a visual for like the when we're doing what. So we are starting next week. Let me do this. Let me screen share this image that I just opened. Bang, 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 bang. There we go. So, subject to some change potentially, but to start with, guys, where are we? We're on Monday the 30th right now. And so the rest of this week, guys, sorry, we're Tuesday the 31st. There we go. That's the day today. And on Friday and Saturday, we've got Mike Sotero and Jay Bonham doing live calls with Benji. So again, amazing opportunities to share with friends the free content. Sunday, we've got a massive call with Rich and Joey that are going to be really showing the plan, showing I am, talking about what we've got going on, mentioning this bootcamp, because guys, this bootcamp is serious. This is not a freebie. This is for those that are plugged in and pay, this is a pay to learn environment. And Mike and myself are going to be showing up to bring it. So starting from the 7th to the 8th, there's 30 days there. So we're going to start on the Tuesday night. We're going to give Monday as a buffer. I believe Benji's got one more session that day and one more night for us to help our friends get onboarded and plugged in and ready. And then we're going to launch on the 7th, 3 nights in a row. The next week, we're going to skip Valentine's Day, make sure you guys are all prioritizing your family and relationships. And then from there, again, we're going to go through there, and wrap up somewhere around there. We're holding it loosely because we really want to make sure that we do it justice. But you can screenshot that. I'll drop in the chat just so you're aware of what we're doing and when. Launching at 8 p.m. each night, and yeah, we're going to be covering the aspects of the kill shot bootcamp that Jay Bonham has been teaching, is currently teaching, which I highly encourage all of you to track with. But we're going to be doing it in our time zone and then also following onto the chart. So Mike, I will bring you on for a few minutes, my man, because obviously you are. I'm just blown away, bro. Your heart to serve and be with us throughout this time is, you're going to be giving a lot throughout this. So guys, drop some appreciation in the chat for our local legend who I can't celebrate enough. Bro, so appreciate what you're going to do here, because obviously you're going to be teaching aspects of a strategy at the same time. Then we get into London Open. So people are going to be able to really experience full immersion to some degree on what it looks like to trade. And I know some of us might do mornings, some might do nights, but for the sake of, having consistency, not everyone is ready to get up at 4:30 in the morning. So we thought we'd do the nights. And firstly, I just want to say thank you for jumping on to do this with us. This is going to be huge for all of us and all of our growth, and obviously a massive opportunity to share with others. So I want to shush for a few minutes and just let you share a little bit of, I guess, what people can expect, like coming to this brand new. Some people have already, had a lot of time with, say, Dynamic Edge or other trading strategies, and some people are brand new. And so with this, kind of how they can maybe prepare themselves, get themselves ready, and yeah, what to expect from it, how to prioritize their mindset maybe leading into it. How does that sound?
Yeah, awesome, Ty. I mean, it's so cool because with trading, you can end up overlaying so many different things on top of each other. And for me, I mean, I've been trading my own strategies for a long time. And then with IM trading Dynamic Edge, and now with Killshot, it's something else I can overlay on top, which gives me added degrees of confidence in my trading. So obviously a lot of people can't trade the mornings. I normally trade the mornings, but the reason why we're doing it at London Open in the evening for New Zealanders is that people can actually see what the live markets look like. So we're going to be having half of that session is going to be theoretical. It's going to be training on the different nuances of the strategy. And, there's a lot of strategies people learn that are quite complicated, but I believe, and I think you agree with me in this, that Killshot's quite a simple strategy. And it's a trend following strategy. It's basically learning to flow with the money, find the direction, and then lock in the different factors and conditions that confirm that trend is going to continue, and then run with it. So we're going to be having half of that session training, and then half looking at the live markets and seeing what's happened and taking some trades as well. And the cool thing is that it doesn't matter if you have already been learning another strategy. This is going to be something that you can also add to your bag of magic tricks. It's another tool you can use. Because we're going to be breaking down the strategy in its different components, you're going to learn a number of other things as well. So, example, you're going to look at extremely specific understanding of market structure, support and resistance, how to identify trends, how to identify the strongest trends, key aspects to determine efficient risk management. All of these things are baked into the strategy as well. So we're going to be looking at the strategy piece by piece, component by component, and bring it all together so that by the end of the boot camp, you can actually be trading this for yourself if you're not trading already, either in live or demo. And so having a consistent time of training and looking at the markets together is hopefully going to add a lot of confidence to you guys who are maybe you haven't started trading yet, maybe you're demo trading, but it's going to, I think, hasten your ability to learn and read the markets and identify the best entry setups for yourself. And doing it together as a team, I'll be there, Ty will be there as well. I think it's really going to speed up the learning curve for a lot of people.
Love it, man. So good. So excited. Honestly, I am pumped. Like, there's going to be a few late lights for me in the midst of whatever, getting stuff on YouTube, but I'm just so excited, so grateful for the time you're willing to invest into our squad. And I know, like, guys, just so you can get context, like, I really want to celebrate mine. Like, you know, we've talked about our own goals in the space and what we want to achieve, you know, personally and for our whole team and our squad. But really, like, number one goal is for our team to be the most successful trading team in the whole of IM. And that requires discipline, that requires patience. And with that comes, you know, discipline, patience, breakthrough, freedom. Like, those are the 4 words that showed up for me the other day when I was thinking about this process, because learning how to trade takes patience, it takes discipline. But most of us, we believe we have a desire for that life of impact and freedom, but it requires learning and getting onto a pathway that's going to make that happen. So we really believe we're onto something here. We're really excited to be able to take you guys all on this journey. Yeah, I saw one thing there, Lisa. Yeah, sorry, we haven't communicated overly clearly as to if it was going to be a free one or not. So I'm sure everyone else will understand. They can get plugged in. I mean, think of it this way: it's going to cost them what, $200-300 to be able to have a month worth of training from someone who previously charged $5K US for a couple months of training and mentorship. So it'll be an easy upsell to get them to sign up. And I mean, the cool thing is having this content that's been happening with Benji this week, they're able to taste and see a little bit, and obviously anything else on the FitLife page, they can see, okay, right, this is what it looks like. But the fact is, they're going to be able to learn something, like learn an actual strategy across a month. Like, this is what we're all going to be able to do. We're going to have very clear clarity, there's a funny one, on what a strategy looks like and how to actually apply it, have the recordings to go back and look through, and then actually know what it looks like to trade in the moment live with it, which for some people, that's where some of the biggest question marks are. How do I apply this now to trading? So really cool that that'll work for us on the London Open. And I mean, yeah, we'll break it down more close to the time, but, you know, we'll do some structured teaching in the beginning and then save the questions and answers for afterwards, just so that we can really clip and record the training side. And then, yeah, we just want to make sure that, you know, our team is got real good clarity on how to do this thing. We really want all of us to be on that pathway to success and have clarity on where we're going. And I can't think of a better way than to just double down on it and go hard for a month. And then from there, see where we end up and what it looks like for us to continue to run Zooms either mornings or nights, and see out of everyone in the squad, open invite, guys. Like, if you want to, there's opportunities to grow and to step into leadership in this space. Like, I mean, we all just here because we at some point said yes. And so if you at some point you want to run a Zoom, whether it be morning, night, afternoon, or lunch, whenever you're trading and you want to do it with community, you know, if we want to get to that point where, you know, if you spend a month doing this, you might then be confident enough to just, guys, I'm trading now, put up a Zoom link and let guys jump on. And it's not like you're the guru. It's just, you know, doing it together and being able to, you know, have multiple eyes looking. So have a think about that. Like, in the midst of this journey, be open to, all right, God, what have you got for me in the space? Like, am I, you know, capable of leading and taking some responsibility, adding value to the community? We want to say this is an open environment where you guys are free to do that. So have that in the back of your mind. But yeah, Mike, so appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I'm fired up and excited, bro. Like, this is going to be huge. And so, guys, yeah, I'll paste that video, that screenshot in the chat of that calendar and bring a few more details. And I'll do one more thing as well. For those that haven't, so just a little update. Jay has confirmed, I got the spreadsheet to him yesterday. Everyone has got access to Killshot by now, if you didn't already. And so if you're wondering how, the number one question I get is how to set up. I'm going to put it in the chat. So the very first video, here's a link to Jay Bonham's YouTube channel. And right there, you're going to see he's running this bootcamp right now at 2 in the morning every morning for us, well, for everyone. But for most of us, that doesn't work too well. So session number 1, bootcamp day 1 kill shot setup. Watch that video. That's going to show you exactly how to open up TradingView and add the indicator to TradingView for yourself. So go ahead and do that. I encourage you between now and next week, heck, dive into those videos and get immersed in what it looks like, so you're not hearing it for the first time. Get familiar with it, click around, get familiar with TradingView, and so that we can really hit the ground running on Tuesday next week. And yeah, guys, it's just after 9. Want to keep it tight. But yeah, love and appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for showing up. So cool to see so many of your beautiful names and faces, those that I can see. Guys, this year's going to be massive. And to summarize again, like what Benji said and everyone else, like just decide, like if you, like, I can't stress enough, like you will get out of this year what you desire from this year. Like it's, someone else said, oh, what was it? The level of desire is reflected in the level of action. And so that's why, like for us, Mike and myself, like we've got a huge burning desire for all of you, and us, myself included, to become successful traders and to have an absolute killer mindset for what it looks like to step into abundance and lead the masses into it. And so get clear on what that looks like for yourself. Like picture yourself even 1 month from now, 2 months from now, start visualizing like that confidence, that thought of like, I actually know a trading strategy. I can confidently trade, etc., etc. Start putting yourself into that frame and visualize what you want to get out of this month, and show up with that desire, show up with that intent, and watch, guys. It's going to be like the first few months of the year. Imagine where you're going to be at the end of the year and start thinking about that and work backwards. So with that, massive love and appreciation for all of you. I'll put on a song and send us out. And yeah, thanks again for giving us your time tonight, guys. Pay attention to the chat. And yeah, in terms of promoting this to anyone else beyond this point, I'll put up maybe some more flyers soon and some details, but for the meantime, you can let them know that they're going to have the opportunity to be learning from a veteran with 20 years experience in a live environment, learning a strategy, and what it cost them a couple $100, $300 to get started. Like if they were ever going to do it, this would be the time to do it. So if you've got anyone who's got questions, who wants to know what it looks like, connect them with myself or anyone in the team with some leadership, and you know, we're happy to take phone calls, help them figure out if it's a good fit for them, and get them plugged in. The sooner the better, so that they can get, you know, assimilated with kill shot and be ready to hit the ground running with us. But Sunday at 2 p.m, that'll be the most perfect call to advertise to friends, because they're going to get the full overview of what it looks like, what it costs. Get them enrolled Sunday afternoon, Monday, and then Tuesday night we hit the ground running. Sweet. All right, everyone. Well, I'll leave it at that. And yeah, have an incredible rest of your evening, and we will see you all in the chat. All right, guys, have a good one. See you soon.